My name is Tendai Manombo, and this is Info, your weekly news in 4 minutes. On Sunday, 8th May, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission ZEC announced the electoral results from the 8 local authority by-elections held across the country the day before. Although these by-elections were not given the same attention as those held on March 26th, there were reports of violence at some polling stations, including Chitungwiza. Zimbabwe's election history is generally characterized by violence, arrests, and intimidation, which undermines democracy by substituting freedom of choice with coercion and by deterring participation. The by-election voter turnout was low, a likely indication that Zimbabweans have become more politically detached, turning their focus on economic survival amid a protracted economic crisis. Low voter turnout also indicates the sliding confidence in elections as a mechanism for bringing leadership change at both national and local levels. As such, voter education, strengthening of electoral management through capacitation of ZEC, as well as independent electoral observation, becomes inevitable to reduce voter apathy and increase participation. The by-election has also shown that women, a group that makes up a larger part of the population, continue to be underrepresented in politics and decision-making structures. The government continues to disregard prudent public finance management and sound public procurement as it continues with the POMONA dump site project, which sailed through Harare City Council without due procurement processes, as it was reportedly ring-fenced by the Minister of Local Government. Thus, there was no tender screening and competitive bidding. What makes citizens skeptical about this whole process is the fact that Geogenics BV, the company awarded the POMONA tender, is represented by Delish Nguaya, who was implicated in the controversial $60 million drug scandal. The drug scandal, also known as COVID-Gate, exposed how the Ministry of Health and Child Care officials were arm-twisted to choose a shelf company, Drugs International, to supply medical essentials to the government at inflated prices without going to public tender. To this end, ZimCod calls for the Ministry of Local Government to promote the optimum efficiency of local authorities and not undermine their effectiveness. Tenders, if awarded to incompetent organizations, have the great effect of siphoning public funds. In a bid to thwart massive currency depreciation experienced in recent weeks, particularly in the parallel market leading to skyrocketing price inflation, the government has unleashed a raft of policy measures to cool the situation. According to the government, these new policy measures will help restore stability by building business and consumer confidence, strengthening demand for the Zim dollar, preserving value for depositors and investors, and fostering market discipline. In a welcome development, the government has decided to squash the existing Zupco monopoly and reopen public transportation to private players. This will bring relief to the commuting public by providing an option rather than relying on Zupco, which has a depleted bus fleet. The government has also decided to compensate individual depositors for the loss of value that was caused by the exchange rate depreciation during the currency reforms and austerity measures of 2019. In an unprecedented move, the government banned all bank lending in the economy, both to public and to private sectors. However, it is the public's view that this policy stance needs a remake, as it will cause serious financial disintermediation and informalization of credit markets, thus increasing transaction costs as well as corroding the effectiveness of the monetary policy. To increase the appeal and use of the Zim dollar, authorities have introduced a 2% forex withdrawal levy and a 4% tax on all domestic forex transfers. This, however, according to the analysts, is self-defeating as it adds to business costs, thereby fueling price inflation growth. This brings us to the end of our bulletin. Please join us once again next week.